As we go into the next hour here, and of course the big story that happened on Saturday will continue to be a big story for some time to come as we try to figure out exactly what happened. Is this plane crash that occurred Saturday, plane on approach to the Anoka Regional Airport there. And what we've learned is that a U.S. Bank executive, Terry Dolan, was believed to be the pilot on that plane and believed to be the only person on the plane. Now, according to a statement from U.S. Bank, they say that they've not yet confirmed that, but they believe that was his plane and that he was on it. In terms of the authorities, the FAA, the NTSB, they have not confirmed that Dolan was killed in the crash either. The plane left Des Moines. It originally had left Naples, flew to Des Moines, and then from Des Moines to the Anoka County Blaine Airport, crashing about 10 miles west of the airport, and you could see that plane just coming in. It just came straight down, caught on a Ring camera. So covering this today is my colleague Mary McGuire, who's up there. And Mary, tell you what, this is it's such a sad situation, and it's one of those things. It sounds like a cliche, pardon me, that it could have been a lot worse, but it could have been in that the house it hit had one person who escaped without injury. It looked like it could have been a much bigger catastrophe and disaster.
At some of the homes that were nearby to the home that took the initial impact, they have a little bit of superficial damage, but nothing compared to that one home. So it really is incredible, first of all, that the man who was inside the home at the time of the plane crash got out, but also that there wasn't more extensive damage to the entire neighborhood where this all happened. Now, we're here in Brooklyn Park. Authorities, there's still a heavy police presence on scene. They've really cordoned off the neighborhood while those NTSB and federal investigators are doing their work today. So we're just about a block away from the scene. We were over there just a couple of minutes ago, and it does appear that there is an excavator there. So they're digging through a lot of the rubble of that home, trying to pick out the components of the plane that might still exist there. On the driveway, we saw two parts of the fuselage and then also a wing. And there appeared to be another part of it on a flatbed truck. We do know that the NTSB is going to take away those components to a secure location and make sure that they are going to do their investigation there and try and figure out what happened. One of their big objectives today is removing that plane. And then also we saw that the medical examiner was on scene. Two, there's only believed to be one person who was on that plane, and that was the pilot. Again, we do not have official confirmation from the medical examiner or federal officials, but it is believed to be Terry Dolan, who is a part of the executive team at U.S. Bank. We've been in touch with the team there, and they're obviously just devastated over the possibility that they lost him. And we're also learning more about the family that lived in the home that was destroyed by this plane crash. We just came across a GoFundMe that was established by the daughter of the couple who lived there, and she says that her dad was inside and her mom was out walking a dog when all of this happened, and really just amazing that they were able to get out when they did.
Yeah, and amazing when you see the size of that fire too. That is, you say there's some small damage to neighboring homes, but boy, it looked like that was a situation where it could have so easily spread to multiple homes. And wow, so how big of an area would you say is then still sort of cordoned off around this?
Just a full block, and just, of course, a lot of looky-loos. We've seen a couple of people flying their drones up, so definitely a busy area, but you have heavy presence from Brooklyn Park Police who are just securing the scene, and then a little bit further in you have all of the federal officials that are doing their jobs there. I did speak with the comms director for Brooklyn Park. They're not doing any more updates. They've really kind of pass this case along to the federal officials, but they did say that all the electricity is restored to the neighborhood, gas, power, things like that. So things seem to be kind of getting back to normal in the neighborhood, except for the fact that, of course, you have it blocked off with scene tape, and then all of those investigators there working on removing the debris. And it's going to be an extensive cleanup because it almost reminds me of when, unfortunately, we've covered a lot of home explosions. And when you see that scene, I mean, just debris everywhere, nothing is left of the home. It really reminds me of a scene like that.
Wow. And we were looking at the video this morning from that neighbor's Ring camera. Mm-hmm. And that is, I mean, when you see that, I don't know, it's the visceral reaction of just seeing this plane just coming straight down into the ground.
Yeah, it's really incredible. And that video will be a part of the investigation and something that investigators look at when they try and figure out what happened.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking through a Reddit thread. It's all speculation, but there's people on there, talking about whether, potentially icing from the precipitation in the air, and was it a stall, and people there that, in the aviation industry who, again, are just sort of putting out what they know based on what they know, is that it looked to them like a wing stall, and it just, because it went to the left on its flight path. And again, this is, who knows at this point, but that is similar, if that's the case, that is similar to what happened to Senator Paul Wellstone's plane on approach. Mm-hmm. When he died, is that that plane also had some icing issues. And also, I mean, and I was at that crash scene, that plane also came straight down into the ground. I mean, it just lost lift and came straight down, and that's what we're seeing in that, and it's astonishing to see that video.
Yeah, and we could glean a little bit more information. So what is typical is the NTSB will come out and they'll make an initial statement. Not a lot of detailed information in that, but about 10 days to 2 weeks later, they'll come out with their preliminary crash report. So we will learn a lot from that. We do know what the weather was like on Saturday. It was cold, it was cloudy. There was a little bit of precipitation in the air, so time will tell if that played a role in any of this. We do know, I was reading a Wall Street Journal profile on Terry Dolan, and it did cite that he was an avid pilot. So seems to be not his first time flying, or right. He wasn't a new pilot.
Just
so
learning. I mean, that
right.
was his plane. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, Mary, we'll see you at 5 and 6 o'clock tonight.
Thanks so much, Rob.
Okay, bye.